Silverstein, a commercial real estate tycoon with international political connections, acquired a 99-year lease on the World Trade Center complex in the spring of 2001. Throughout the summer, he reworked the insurance policies on his new property, making sure that it was covered for acts of terrorism. Explicit in the lease agreement was Silverstein's right to rebuild the complex if it were destroyed. Larry Silverstein, new leaseholder of the World Trade Center, regretfully declared that a decision was made to pull Building 7 by the end of the day, the last structure added to the World Trade Center complex. Let's hear Mr. Silverstein's actual words, delivered for our benefit in the 2002 PBS documentary, America Rebuilds.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. And I said, you know, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
Blast, shoot, blow, and pull are terms used in the demolition industry to refer to bringing down buildings, bridges, and other structures. After 9/11, Mr. Silverstein fought his insurers in court to obtain double his policy limits for the destruction of his property, maintaining that the double hijacking constituted 2 disasters caused by terrorists, not just one. He won and was awarded over $7 billion, a magnificent return on his original $15 million investment. Although they were idolized as cathedral-like symbols of power and triumph that pierced the New York skyline, the Twin Towers were big money losers for the Port Authority of New York. They cost millions a year to equip with the basics: electricity, water, heat, air conditioning, sewage, and even oxygen, being airtight. As modern communications connected traders from all corners of the globe, tenancy in the Twin Towers continued to drop. The towers presented another problem. Decades ago, their steel beams had been sprayed with fireproof asbestos, a cancer-causing material banned from use in building in the mid-1980s. Although the World Trade Center complex was given several waivers, it was expected to clean up its act. But to remove the asbestos from every supporting beam in the Twin Towers would have been almost undoable. Quotes for this cleanup ran over $1 billion, and no insurance company was willing to bear the cost. An urban renewal project of unfathomable proportions. Given the tower's issues and problems, September 11th proved an unexpected bonanza. Also, in 6.5 seconds, lost forever were thousands of SEC case files on corporate fraud, including those relating to the notorious activities of giants WorldCom and Enron. A few indictments for stock fraud, but what of the $70 billion California electricity swindle? It disappeared. Gold and silver held by commercial banks and the COMEX exchange is said to have been stored beneath ground zero. This single cash belonging to the Bank of Nova Scotia was unearthed and made public. Was there more, and was it removed, remains a question.
Thousands of put stock options were bought on United and American Airlines immediately prior to September 11, 2001. On average, during the first weeks of September 2001, 27 put options were bought each day on Morgan Stanley, one of the World Trade Center's largest occupants. The total of its put options for the 3 days prior to the attacks was 2,157. Merrill Lynch, also in the WTC, saw 12,215 put stock options. That is 12 times its normal level. Between September 6th and 7th, Chicago Board Options Exchange saw 4,744 put option contracts with United Airlines and only 396 call options. On September 10th, put options for American Airlines totaled 4,516 versus 748 call options. In addition, these trades were not only occurring in our country, but around the world. There is no chance that all or even most of the trades were placed by Osama bin Laden or Al-Qaeda. According to Fox News, CNN, and the BBC, insider trading reports were found in the USA, Germany, Britain, France, Canada, Japan, Monte Carlo, Switzerland, Hong Kong, Italy, Spain, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Singapore. The director of the CIA headed a firm that bought some of these put stock options. Mr. Krongard was head of Bankers Trust until he resigned and was promoted to CIA Executive Director by President Bush in March 2001. Buzzy Krongard purchased this stock, and our government did nothing about it. The New York Times and the Wall Street Journal reported that Mayo Shattuck III resigned for no given reason as head of the Alex Brown unit of Deutsche Bank on September 14, 2001. Deutsche Bank is also one of the 4 banks most used by the bin Laden family. The German central bank president, Ernst Weltek, had a study conducted by his bank. It indicated, quote, "There are ever clearer signs that there were activities on international financial markets that must have been carried out with the necessary expert knowledge in industries such as gold, oil, airlines, and insurance companies."
The daily put-call ratio on United Airlines peaked at more than 25-1 on September 6th. And the volume of put options at 2,000 contracts that day was 285 times the norm. Put option volume on American Airlines was 60 times the daily average on September 10. And according to all sources, there was no other event to explain these anomalies. Whoever was doing this insider trading had to be such close insiders as to know such very specific details of the plot as to know exactly which airlines would be used in the attack. Quote, "Exhaustive investigations by the SEC, FBI, and other agencies have uncovered no evidence that anyone with advanced knowledge of the attacks profited through securities transactions." They sourced this incredible statement with a single footnote. They did not give any details, like which trades were investigated, who placed the trades, or what might have motivated the trades. Only 2 instances were explained at all. And in these, the government named no names. The footnote said, "A single U.S.-based institutional investor with no conceivable ties to Al-Qaeda purchased 95% of the UAL puts on September 6 as part of a trading strategy." Who is this investor, and how is the Commission sure he has no ties to Al-Qaeda? Even if it's true, having no ties to Al-Qaeda does not mean having no ties to 9/11. The demolition of the World Trade Center proves that.